how's it going? I'm your host, April Hanna, and I thought I would just drop in with a Food for Thought Friday because I just got back from a week-long vacation. I went down to South Carolina and had the opportunity to spend some good quality time with my cousins, and we haven't really vacationed together in a while, and my cousin has 2 younger children and a husband, and I said to them this year, we should try to do a little bit of a family tradition and let's start vacationing together, once a year when the kids are on break. So that's what we did. I went down to Pawleys Island. I don't know if we have any listeners from South Carolina. I'd have to check our map there, but it was great. And I have to say, gosh, when you're coming from New York and you travel south, it just feels like a different world. It really showed me and reminded me just how quick New Yorkers are. We are just like on the go, hurry, 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 get stuff done, make it quick, 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 quick. And, there were times where we were out and we were ordering things at restaurants and some of the waitresses would be like, slow down, can you repeat what you said? And, just even the way that people spoke was just calmer and slower. So I want to thank South Carolina for just bringing me into my zen. I also made it a point on this vacation to wake up most mornings for the sunrise. And for those of you who know me, I have never been much of a morning person. I do love my sleep, and I don't tend to wake up early if I don't have to. So my typical, thing would have been when I'm on vacation, just sleep in as late as possible, maybe 9 a.m., 10 o'clock, go to bed around midnight or so. But I decided, I am at the ocean and I want to make it a point to just wake up every day to see the beautiful sunrise. And I did. And I took some pictures of that. I usually share most of my personal pictures over on Instagram. I have an account there through Hannah's Healing Wellness Studio. I think I have it as at HH Wellness Studio, but if you search for it, you'll be able to find it if you want to see some of those beautiful pictures. I also took some videos of the beach and shared those with people who follow me on Instagram, and it was really nice. I'm really hoping that it's something as I come back and I get ready for my work week that I am going to begin to integrate into my daily routine. I'm looking to change some of my hours up at the studio for the summer, so that's going to force me to be in the office by 7:30 a.m. I know some of you are probably at the gym at 5 a.m., and if any of you are following some of the other podcasts, you know that I spoke to a cardiologist who also did Ayurvedic medicine, and the book was called The Heart of Wellness. And so as I'm studying more Ayurvedic medicine, I'm really realizing that my body and biorhythms and everything is just kind of out of whack and out of balance, because with my type of job, I kind of have to have some evening hours for people to come in. And if I'm teaching classes, a lot of people just work the 9-to-5 job. So I have to be creative with the hours that I work. And when I work late hours, I end up coming home and, not really getting something to eat till like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So I am trying to change my lifestyle a little bit. And I am hoping that waking up for the sunrise is going to be one of those things that I'm going to change and do. So if I end up doing this, I'm not making any promises, but you will be sure to catch some of those photos. I will be diligent to take some photos and post them on Instagram, and maybe I'll even think about having a sunrise challenge. For those of you who are like me, and it can be a challenge to wake up early, maybe we can have a fun little photo contest, and you guys can upload your pictures to Instagram, and you can tag me over at the Path 11 Productions Instagram page or my Hannah's Healing Wellness page. So I just wanted to share some of my thoughts with you on that. It was great that I had some time to drive. I actually drove down. It was 14 hours from where I live, so I separated it going down and back with a 2-day trip. And on my way down, I actually stopped in New York City. A friend of mine and we went to go see Eckhart Tolle, and It was at the Beacon Theater in New York City, and we listened to a 90-minute lecture of his, and it was awesome. I was really saddened when Wayne Dyer had passed away, and I made a promise to myself that I'm going to make sure and make it a point to get out there and see all of the people that I read and really admire who have been my teachers. I consider them to be my teachers, even if I've never met them, and that I would like to be in their presence before I die. So I heard that Eckhart Tolle was coming to New York City, and I did a book club in my studio on that. I think it was, almost 2 years ago. So I got one of my friends to come with me that was a part of that book club, and it was just awesome to be in his presence. His lecture was really in the stream of consciousness. He didn't really have an agenda, but everything that he talked about just flowed from one subject to the next, to the next, to the next, and it really felt like, what he talked about that night, even though he talked about so many different things, you knew that everyone in that room got a message from his lecture. And I just love his work. I think all of us that are on the spiritual path are always trying to work within, the egoic self and the spiritual self. And there was something about being in his presence that just felt like you had permission to just be who you were and accepted for that. So I feel like he really held the space to tap into that spiritual self of love that we are. And I just felt a lot of, judgment being released and kind of laughing at myself for certain things that maybe the ego has been, battling me with. And he just has a great dry sense of humor. I tend to have a dry sense of humor as well. So he had us all laughing. So that was really awesome. I think that he is probably on some sort of tour. So if you guys get a chance to stop and see him, it's well worth the ticket price. I would highly recommend that. So what else is going on? Mike and I are up to a couple of fun things, and he came up to my place last week, and we recorded a training with my animal cards. So we're going to have that available and offered to you guys maybe in about a month or so. I have to do a little back work on the PDF copy of the workbook portion of it for people, but I have these animal cards that are just amazing, and they're actually over on my coffee table. I'm going to go grab them really quick. And the card deck is called the Druid Animal Oracle, and it's by Philip and Stephanie Cargome. And I give a little bit of the story in the training that we recorded about how these cards came into my life. And those of you who have watched our films, we were at my healer's studio, Jeanette Defoe, and there are pictures of the animal cards and me turning the cards over. I think it might have been in Beyond the Physical. So if you want to go back and take a look at Beyond the Physical and find that area, you will know the cards that I'm talking about, or just go ahead and Google them. But yeah, we're going to have that training available, so I'm excited about that. And then the other thing that I decided to set up and do is I made an account on Fiverr. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. I was trying to find somebody that would that I could hire to do my logo, because I am switching my business over a little bit. I was doing a lot of, traditional mental health counseling, and, with all the stuff that I have learned and grown into, I'm just moving away from that a little bit so I could incorporate more of the things that I've been studying that I feel really do work, like A Course in Miracles, law of attraction, manifestation. Not that that isn't talked about in clinical psychotherapy, but, it's a little bit different. So I'm just trying to, come into my own here and transition the business a little bit. So I was trying to find somebody that designed logos, and somebody had recommended, hey, check out Fiverr. So I did. And then I was looking through some things, and I was just curious to see what people were doing in the, mediumship, psychic realms, anybody reading, people's cards. I was looking at some profiles, and, some looked good, some didn't. And I thought, what, I'm going to put this up. Why not? Because I just love these cards. They have been just so accurate. They have been so helpful in my life, in my clients' life. When people come for a reading, they still blow me away to this day with their accuracy. So if you guys are interested and you want a card reading by me, go on Fiverr. They give you a couple of different options. You'll see it. You can get something for $5, something I think for $15, and something for $35. But if you'd like me to do a card reading for you, I'd be more than happy to do that. I'm not a technical person, so I don't really know how the whole thing works and how your profile gets moved up. So I've had no hits, but it's out there. You're also going to find that when I launch my new website, I am now going to be taking clients from all around the world, and I am going to make myself available through Skype and some online conferencing. So I'm really excited about that as well. And I'm reading a couple of books. And I was thinking, if any of you are interested, that maybe I might like to do an interactive book club. And the one that I am reading right now is The Divine Law of Compensation by Marianne Williamson. And I am going to be doing that book club in my studio where people can physically come. But then I was thinking, you know what, maybe if there is some interest, I might hold it through a conferencing site. And if you guys are interested, why don't you email me at april@path11productions.com, and maybe we can all get a group together and have fun with that and talk about how to use A Course in Miracles, how to remove some of the blocks and the fears in order to allow abundance, which is our natural birthright, into our lives so that we're no longer struggling with this concept of money. And how do we allow that to flow and come into this relationship that abundance is our birthright and that it's available to us. Why do we block it? So I'm really excited reading that book, and I'm excited to actually hold the book club in my studio, and that's going to be on May 8th. So if I do an interactive online book club with you guys, it'll probably be around the same time. It would probably be in the evening. I was thinking maybe on a Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, or possibly on a weeknight when I get home. So just thinking about that. So if you are interested, like I said, just let me know. I'd love to hear from you. So that's about it. This is just kind of a little short Food for Thought Friday. I just wanted to share some of my experiences there on vacation, touch base with you guys more on the personal level. I know when I'm, interviewing authors, I don't really get a chance to, talk too much. And I just wanted to touch base and let y'all know I've been thinking about you. And I always love hearing from you. Please send me some emails. If you have any show suggestions, I do have a wonderful assistant now who is booking people for us, and her name is Alexandria. You can find her on our website at path11productions.com or path11podcast.com. And yeah, so one of the other things too that we have going on is Patreon. And we have some patrons, so that was really exciting to see those come in. And I'd like to give a little shout out to those people. And those people are Samantha, Roland, Amit, and Sonia. So those are some of our newest patrons. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the support and helping us out here. And I noticed that a lot of people are choosing the giveaway of the guided meditation, so I am also going to be pumping some of those out for you guys as well that are just going to be for the Patreon site. So if you guys haven't heard about that, you can check that out. You can go to the Path 11 podcast, and over on the right-hand side, you'll see an orange button that you can click on, and it's a win-win. You guys help support us with a monetary donation. It could be a one-time donation. It could just be $1. And then there's different denominations that you can go ahead and click on, and then we send you something and you get some free goodies. So I was also had the opportunity to listen to some podcasts, like I said, on my vacation. And I really liked what one guy did. He would announce a fan of the week, and how he would give the shout out would be a fan would actually write a review for the podcast, and he would read it and give that fan a shout out. So we're always looking for reviews on iTunes. That definitely helps us kind of get bumped up in the rankings. So if you guys are enjoying the podcast, definitely send us a review. I do read them all, and it's really cool. on iTunes because they give you a little date and let you know when the last one was logged. So I know who's up next. So feel free to do that. I would love to give a little shout out to you. And I hope you all are beginning to enjoy your spring. One of the things that I really tried very hard to do in this vacation, which was always a little bit difficult for an entrepreneur, is to not pick up the phone and not answer emails and really just try to be in the present moment. So I would like to challenge you all, if you have a vacation coming up, can you do that? Of course, I came back to 1,600 emails, which was feeling a bit overwhelming. And of course, there was a part of me thinking, gosh, if I just went through and, answered a handful each day and, just set it aside. But I really wanted to try to be present with my family. And you know what? People will live. The world did not stop because I did not check my email or answer telephone calls and things of that sort. So it was all good. And it was wonderful to be able to just really relax. So I hope that you guys can do that if you have any vacations coming up. So great to touch base again with you guys, and I have some other ideas for some of the Food for Thought Fridays, but again, I only record these when I feel inspired, want to reach out, want to talk to you guys, have something to share. So I'm going to leave you with a little quote today. And actually, it's not a quote, it's a little prayer, but it comes from the book by Marianne Williamson, The Law of Divine Compensation. This is the book club that I'm talking about, if you guys are interested. So I'll get you a little excited for some of the content in there. But it is a beautiful, small, short little prayer that I have been saying since I picked up this book and read this chapter. It's in chapter 9, in case you guys do have this book on your bookshelf and you haven't taken it out in a while. But the prayer is, Dear God, I dedicate to you my talents and abilities. May they be used in a way that serves your purposes. I surrender to you my business and finances. May my work be lifted to its highest possibility as a blessing on all the world. Amen. I think, no matter what we do, whether you own your own business or you're working in the world or you're working for someone, that's just a beautiful prayer. And I think it's a great reminder to bring you back to why we're here, which is really to serve others. So I hope this podcast served you in some sort of way today. Take care, everyone. Until next time.